Thought for the day. Self-determination is freedom.
Welcome to 7 Minutes for Yourself. I'm Christina, and I'm so glad you've joined me for what I believe will be 7 of the most enriching minutes of your day. Let's take this time to reconnect with ourselves and improve our well-being.
In today's episode of 7 Minutes for Yourself, we are applying the process of reinvention to get what we deserve out of life. Have a listen.
What does the process of reinvention look like?
I would tell you this, fear. I feel that most people are staying in jobs or working things, or even marriage or relationships, because they fear change. Can I do better? Can I get a better opportunity? Will somebody hire me? Will somebody date me? Will somebody marry me? Will somebody want my kids that I have? That's a fear, and people don't want to make change. So I don't just take it from just an entrepreneurial standpoint. I take that conversation to the social behavior of people when they don't want to make adjustments because they've already told themselves they can't do it. And when you make adjustments, when you stop yourself first, really is sad. Because let somebody else tell you what you cannot do. But in the process of that, prepare for success. In other words, are you willing to put time in your next move? And a lot of people say things like, I'm not a morning person. I don't really know what that means. I really don't. I have 24 hours in the day. I try to take advantage of every hour. And I have certain rules that I initially tell people on a regular basis. If you want to start living a successful life, start locking into a consistent time that you should get up every day. Don't let it deviate. If you say get up at 8 o'clock, don't hit the snooze and get up at 8:30. I get up at 4:30. That's just my time. I'm not a happy guy getting up, but that's a goal I set. And I'm gonna just tell you this honestly: if you're about to make a change in your life and you feel uncomfortable, that's the best feeling you can have. Because for the first time in your life, you're making a decision that's going to be best for you and not what somebody told you to do. And that's when all bets are off, man, because you're about to enter some uncharted waters that's going to force you to challenge yourself to be perfect in so many ways. And shooting for perfection is all good. You don't shoot for average because you're not going to hit all the time. If you shoot for perfection and you hit good or great, you're winning. Don't ever shoot for average. I just try to get people to understand, don't be average. I always tell people that you have to make adjustments to achieve your goals. And if you're not really happy about where you're at, well, guess what? This change is needed, especially millennials. Some of the things that you're going to do in life is not tied to a check. Don't guide your life by how much you're going to be paid, but how much you get out of it, the opportunity. That's really key. Not how much you're getting paid, but how much you're going to get out of the opportunity. When I look at my life, here's a guy who's going from a regular paycheck to retirement, security, because at that time, IBM had never laid off anybody in the history of that company. Wow. To traveling from gig to gig for $75 for a meal. And that was my world, but that was my dream. Understand this is that if you're willing to pursue your dream, then your goals change and your level of sacrifice change. Was I afraid? Yes. Was I certain was I certain there was certainty in what I was doing? No. But also in the back of my mind, I'm gonna tell you, I cheated a little bit. I said I could always go back to IBM. I cheated myself. And then finally after a year I went, stop cheating yourself.
Why was it cheating yourself?
Because when you want to do something in your life, you don't put options out there. You don't put a B plan. You this is what you want to do. You commit to it. Well, how am I going to do stand-up and say I want to do stand-up, but I'm still thinking about going back to IBM? Those are two different lanes of activity. And quite frankly, I was not satisfied in that previous lane. So why is that an option now? And so that's why I was cheating myself until I went, this is what you want to do it. And started performing on cruise ships.
What changed in that moment that's so powerful? Did you start working more? Like, what happens in your actual tangible life when you make that decision?
I'm telling you, when I moved to New York, there's two moves in New York I got to tell you about. First time I went to New York, because I moved to New York in '88. I was hot as a comic. I was being Rashawn. And everybody thought I was a star. I remember the guy at the Improv walked up and he said, "You're the next one." And he said that, I said, well, "I'm sorry, I work for IBM." He goes, He said, you need to quit. You got it. And so that was Rushion there. Okay, that was Rushion, no hold bars. That was Rushion McDonald doing his own thing. Cut to 88. I go to New York. I walk on stage trying to be something I thought they wanted me to be. I thought they wanted me to be the next Eddie Murphy. I thought they wanted me to be the clean like Bill Cosby. So I walked on stage and was rejected every time I was on stage because I was not. So I always tell people, if you're going to go down being you. First of all, it's usually tied to you taking risk. You know, and I think I don't want to jump around because upstairs when we were talking, I was telling you in 2016 I had to find my voice again.
Right.
And that's at the highest level of my life. You know, when people could just Google me and say I'm a success. And so know that.
And when you say reinvent in 2016, you're saying leave Steve Harvey and start your own thing.
Absolutely. And that was a very powerful decision that I had to make in my life to say, who is Rushion McDonald? Because as you become successful, people will have definitions of who you are and also proclaim your level of success for what you should be accomplishing. So back then, I was just a guy who just trying to make a check, man. I was just trying to be funny. Know that now. Those are simple standards. If you keep it simple, you can find your voice.
That concludes today's episode of 7 Minutes for Yourself. Please take a moment to rate and review the show on Apple Podcasts. Today and every day with your kiddo is a gift. Enjoy it. Thanks for tuning in.